as you know, Steinbeck and other left-wing writers, Dos Passos and so on, they gradually moved over to the right.
Right.
Could this have happened in Woody Guthrie?
No, I'm quite sure it would not have happened. I'm positive it would not have happened. He might have, it's theoretically possible, he would have said the hell with the world and gone off and contemplated his navel in some ashram, but I doubt that either. He certainly would not have become a successful person and grown fat on his earnings. He would have been glad to make some money. He walked into the publisher's office and said, "You bet, I'd like you to collect some money on this." But he left too many jobs. He turned down too many opportunities for me to ever think that he would have done what Steinbeck or Dos Passos did.
Regarding the great importance of Woody Guthrie in his song, why hasn't there been a really good collection of his songs, a complete collection? Why haven't you done it, for instance?
Well, I suppose I should have worked harder. I have worked with a person who spent 5 years of her life, Halle Wood, herself a very good singer, went through all the available recordings and tape recordings to try and put down what she felt would be the best version of his songs, because each time he sang them they came out a little bit differently. Even the song "This Land Is Your Land" has got several different ways he sang the melody as well as the words. The book that she worked on has still not come out off the press. I'm hoping it will within a few years, but the publisher is still holding back on it. One of these days it will be out. I guess part of it, the problem is that there's a disagreement about exactly how big it should be. They say he wrote 1,000 songs, but the nearest thing to a complete collection had about 120, and it's debatable how many of the rest are in good enough version to want to print. And even some of the 120, people say, well, that's interesting to look at, but nobody will ever sing it. Why put it in the songbook? So once again, it's disagreement among the heirs. I compare Woody, you know, to Robert Burns, and in a way I'm glad to see that all these different versions are around. I would be sorry to see Woody canonized and turned into some sort of saint, and people not wanting to change a word of his songs, because Woody changed everybody else's songs around, and I think he would be happy if working people changed his songs. Now, he doesn't want to see them ruined, so he'd be against some commercial person, for example, making a phony love song out of the Union Maid, for example. But he had faith in the people, and if some union people came along, as they right now they're doing, some young women sang me last month a new verse to the Union Maid, which takes away the male supremacist wording of a third verse. And you know, the last verse said, "You gals who want to be free, just take a little tip from me. Get you a man who's a union man and fight together for liberty." No. Anyway, these young women had sisterhood and solidarity. And Woody would have been glad to see something like that. So I hope that Woody will not be canonized with people trying to examine every little word, saying, now he said this, so we must say it.
Would you have been happy to see "This Land, Your Land" used by Nixon crowd and so on?
Oh, heavens no. There was a young man in Colorado who wanted "This Land Is Your Land" to be a national anthem, and I wrote him and said, for God's sake, stop that. Can't you see the Marines marching into the next little country? And "This land is your land, this land is my land."
So Woody sometimes often made songs just for the day and wasn't so particular about the quality. Is there within you a conflict between the artist as a singer as an artist and the singer as a fighter? Would you sing, or have you ever sung a bad song with a good message?
Oh, I don't think that you can say there's such a thing as a bad song with a good message. There are strong and weak points in every song, and I often say or do things because the moment demands it. When you're hungry, you don't demand to have the finest chef cook your meal. You eat. And often, because in my own opinion, everybody is an artist. I use the term art to cover all of life. And some of the greatest artists have never, in the formal sense, created a work of art. It's just their lives are a work of art because they accomplish things, they move with grace and rhythm and purpose even when they make mistakes. And perhaps a craftsman simply doing a good craftsman-like job. Their life is artistic, even though they may make the same thing with their hands day after day. A person rolling bread in a bakery who knows her job or his job well, and they are artists, even though they go through these same motions day after day. A woman who can change her baby's diapers with great expertness is an artist. And is a souffle any less the work of art because it only lasts a few minutes?
You said some very cryptical words last night about that you didn't know if we were to meet again, and then you had said that you didn't travel so much nowadays. Will that mean that you will change your way of life, that you will do some other work than you've done up to now?
Well, I don't have as much voice anymore. I never did have very much, but I get hoarse more easily now. And I don't have as much energy as I used to have. And while I still I'm really enjoying my short visit to Sweden, I don't think I will be traveling so much. I may travel up and down the Hudson, maybe not even that so much. I spend more time trying to build boats these days than practicing music or even researching or writing. Right now I'm trying to build a dugout canoe like the Indians did, because I'm trying to persuade young people to get out on the river, and you don't have to have a lot of money. I'm trying to figure how we can make boats out of anything, out of old oil barrels, make boats out of scrap lumber that we glue together. Hey, really, one of the great inventions of the world is epoxy glue. Do you realize that? If only we could find the equivalent of epoxy glue in the field of social adhesives. But epoxy glue is a truly wonderful invention. You know what I mean? It's a type of glue that is completely waterproof. It's also very flexible. So it can stick two boards together, but it won't crack when those two boards are put in the water and they swell, or they dry and they shrink. And well, here in Sweden you have more wood than most other countries of the world, but even in the United States now, wood gets to be very expensive. And so kids say, well, I'd like to build something, but I don't have a big piece of wood. And I said, look at the street, there's a lot of wood there. They say, oh, it's all short pieces. Little short pieces, because they're boxes that are being thrown out. With epoxy glue, we can glue them together, and we get long pieces. That's why I say we need the equivalent of epoxy glue in society. Flexibility is needed. And the old glues were very rigid. So you ask what I'm doing these days. I have to confess I spend more time with boats and reading on anti-pollution problems and solutions than anything else.